Hello friends and welcome to this session for GATE and ESC Electrical Engineering. My friend, this session is going to be one of the most awesome session and you are going to really learn something very new and something that will help you in the exam. In the exam for GATE, may it be 2021 or it may be 2022. Now, before we start the lecture, my friend, let me introduce you myself. My name is Ankit Goyal. I got AIR 1 in GATE 2014 and GATE 2018. And my friend, I was also awarded the President of India Gold Medal by the President himself in the year 2013 when I graduated from IIT Indore. Presently, I am working as a director at an academy for GATE department, and that is why constantly I am able to bring new and more initiatives for you. Because an academy is not an institute. An academy is not a coaching. An academy is more of a revolution. An academy is more of a feeling. An academy has everything right that is wrong with every other coaching institute in the country. The name an academy, my friend, has been comprised of two words, an and academy. That means it has everything that is not there in an academy. So an academy cares about the student in the best way possible. It cares about the student most than or more than any other person can. All the initiatives are centered on the student. That is, they are always working towards the student welfare. And that is why, my friend, you are watching this course on power system. That is why, my friend, you are watching this course on power system free of cost on our YouTube channel. So my friend, if you are visiting this channel for the first time, make sure that you have subscribed, because we have electrical machine, power electronics, power system, communication system, EMT, EDC, network, signal, control, digital, everything is here on this channel, that too free of cost, my friend. But what has Unacademy done? Unacademy has brought a revolution in the country where they are providing the most affordable education, and that too free of that too at the most affordable price as well as free of cost on YouTube. So my friend, if you want to be a part of the revolution that Unacademy has created by means of the courses that are running on Unacademy, where they are bringing you the best ever educators of the country on a single platform. That is, you, my friend, can be able to learn from India's top educator at the cheapest or at the most affordable prices possible. At the most affordable prices possible. Now, my friend, I'm talking to you. You can dare to dream. You can dare to enter a PSU. You can dare to dream about MTech from an IIT. Why? Because Unacademy has made it possible. Unacademy has done everything that is required to get the best rank in GATE examination. So my friend, if you want to join Unacademy, make sure that you use the code Ankit ESC, because the door to Unacademy opens with this code, and this directly makes me your mentor so that I can guide you at each and every step regarding your GATE preparation. And not only this, you will also get 10% discount on your subscription. Now, what does Unacademy bring for you? Not only the live classes. The live classes are the best part of Unacademy, where you can interact with the educator, ask your doubt, and make sure that you understand each and every concept and then only exit the class. But other than that, you get dedicated doubt session, where you can post a pic of a question and ask any doubt, any number of doubts. Then you have weekly quizzes. Every Sunday we test how much you have understood. Then there are daily practice paper which we provide you for practice. Then there are practice questions from Unacademy. Then there are test series from Unacademy. Then there is crash course where we will boost your rank in the last few months. There is rank improvement batch for the students who have already done well in the GATE examination. Now, my friend, all of this just with one subscription fees, where you don't have to pay anything again and again or anything extra. That is the magic of Unacademy. Just join Unacademy without thinking too much.
Hi guys, up to now we have studied the construction of transmission line. Okay, there we saw there are four type of conductor. Solid conductor, which had the problem of skin effect. Then we moved to stranded conductor, which reduce skin effect, but there are problem of corona and strength. Then we move to composite stranded, in which we saw ACSR type of conductor, and then we move to bundled conductor, which reduce the corona. We also derived the parameters. Inductance was mu naught by 2 pi ln GMD by GMR for single conductor system, and it was mu naught by 2 pi ln GMD by self GMD for bundled conductor system. Similarly, capacitance was 2 pi epsilon naught divided by ln GMD by R for single conductor system, and it was 2 pi epsilon naught divided by ln GMD by self GMD for bundled conductor system. Similarly, resistance was defined as rho by A ohm per meter. For three-phase line, we will consider per resistance conductor. For single phase 2-wire line, we will consider loop resistance. So loop resistance was 2R. For three-phase, there is no concept of loop resistance. We have to consider the resistance of each conductor separately. So in this lecture, we will see how to determine the performance of the transmission line. On what parameters is the performance judged. So the first parameter that we consider is the efficiency. As I told you, the desirable characteristic of the line is power loss in a line should be low, so that maximum power reaches from the sending end to the receiving end. So if the power loss is low, that means the efficiency should be high. So how do we define efficiency? It is output power by input power into 100%. It can also be written as output divided by output plus loss into 100%. It can be defined as input minus loss by input into 100%. Okay, but what are the sources of losses in a transmission line? Simply, conductor has some resistance, so there will be I square R loss. As I told you, when the air around the conductor ionizes, it starts conducting, so there will be corona loss. Similarly, due to the leakage current, there will be V square G loss, because it will be V square by R insulator, or we can say GV square. So that is due to the leakage current. So these are the three primary sources of losses in a transmission line, out of which we will mostly consider I square R loss, and we will neglect the other two sources of losses. Similarly, we define all-day efficiency for some systems, like for the case of distribution transformer, eta all day is energy output in 24 hours by energy input in 24 hours. So that is your all day efficiency, but we will not define it for the case of transmission line. We will only define the normal efficiency, that is output by input. In case of transmission line, the output is taken at the receiving end and input is applied at the sending end. So efficiency will be simply receiving end power by sending end power into 100%. The other parameter on which we judge the performance is the regulation or voltage regulation of the transmission line. Now there are two types of regulation. One is called as static, other is called as dynamic. So there are two types of system basically when we consider combinedly the electrical machines and the power systems. The systems which have mechanical output, that is your motors. The system which have electrical output, that is your generator, transformers and transmission line. So wherever there is electrical output, we define static regulation or voltage regulation, because their output is voltage. Wherever the output is mechanical, we define dynamic regulation or speed regulation. Okay, this is simply no load speed minus full load speed by full load speed into 100. So remember, for the case of motors, we cannot define the voltage regulation. That is only defined for systems which have electrical output. Now voltage regulation can also be divided into two parts. One is your regulation up and regulation down. For up it is no load voltage minus full load voltage by full load voltage. For regulation down it is no load minus full load by no load. For the case of power system we will use the regulation up. So every time we calculate the voltage regulation, it is always calculated at the output terminals of a system. So like for the case of transformer, voltage regulation will be calculated at secondary winding because output is taken across secondary. For generator it will be taken as terminals. For transmission line the output is at receiving end, so we will take it across the receiving end. So voltage regulation will be written as mod VR0, that is receiving end voltage at no load, minus mod VR receiving end voltage under full load by mod VR into 100%. So remember this terminology, mod VR0 is the receiving end voltage under no load condition. But what are the assumptions that we will take during calculating the voltage regulation? We will take that mod Vs is constant. And remember, while calculating voltage regulation, we only consider the magnitude of voltage and not the phase of the voltage. So we will assume that the secondary voltage remains, sending end voltage remains constant when we are calculating the voltage regulation or when we are varying the load from no load to the full load. Now how do we classify the transmission lines while judging the performance? We classify based on comparison of length with wavelength. Later on we will see when voltages and currents propagate in a transmission line, they do so in the form of electromagnetic waves, so they possess certain wavelength. Here L is the physical length of the line and lambda is the wavelength. Okay, lambda can be written as C by F because electromagnetic waves travels at a speed almost equal to speed of light. So L by lambda can be written as LF by C. So classification will be based on product of length, that is the physical length of the line, and frequency of operation of the line. So we classify the line into three categories. First is my short transmission line. Short transmission line has length less than 80 km for a frequency 50 Hz. So what will be the product of LF? It will be less than 4000 km per second. Next we define as medium transmission line. Length will be lying between 80 km up to 200 km for a frequency of 50 Hz. So what will be the product of LF? 4000 up to 10,000 km per second. Next we define as long transmission line where L is greater than 200 km for a frequency 50 Hz. So LF is greater than 10,000. Okay, so remember this criteria on LF because sometimes the frequency may be changed while a question is coming, so that you have to change the criteria. Like for example, if I ask you a 50 km long line operating at 500 Hz will be classified as. Now from the length criteria it seems that it is a short transmission line, but I have changed the frequency. So L into F will be 25,000, which is greater than 10,000. So it is a long line. So classification is not only based on the length of the line but rather on the length into frequency. Now the question that comes to mind, why am I classifying the transmission line? Why can't I have a universal analysis? The answer to this question is we do have a universal analysis which is applicable for all length of the line. Okay, that is the distributed analysis of the transmission line. Distributed means we will not consider resistance as a single element, rather it will be distributed throughout the line. That is the most exact analysis which has the highest accuracy. But the problem with such an analysis is that it is very complicated. So I am classifying the lines into different categories so that I can make suitable assumptions or suitable approximation to simplify the analysis without losing too much of accuracy. Okay, so for long line we will use distributed model for the accurate analysis, and that will be applicable for short as well as medium line. But the analysis of short and medium line is only applicable to these lines. It cannot be applied to a long line. Neither the analysis of short line can be applied to a medium transmission line. These are the approximation that will be only valid for their respective categories. Okay, so here I am reducing the accuracy, but I am increasing the ease of analysis, or I am saving my time if accuracy is not lost in a major amount. Now when it comes to short transmission line, what approximations do I make? Since length is less, the capacitance will be less. That means line charging current will also be less. Line charging current is omega CV. So if line charging current is less, I will neglect the line charging current, and in the process I am neglecting capacitance. Or otherwise you can say reactance, that is 1 by omega C, is very high, so I can consider the capacitor as open circuited, and I am also neglecting any leakage current. So what I am left with is resistance and inductance. So they will be connected in series like this. Here we will have sending end voltage, sending end current, receiving end current, and receiving end voltage. This will be R and X. But the thing here is that you must remember we have neglected line charging current and the capacitance, and this resistance and reactance, they have the unit ohm, that is they are lumped. Lumped means representing the entire distributed parameter by a single element. As we saw, we calculated the inductance in millihenry per kilometer, but here I am using the total inductance, that is inductance per unit length multiplied by length of the line. So entire inductance of the transmission line is replaced by a single inductance element, that is called as lumping of the parameters. So here I am using lumped model for the ease of analysis. So this is the model of a short transmission line. We will elaborate upon it, but in the later lectures. Next come medium transmission line. In medium transmission line, since length is more, so capacitance will be more, so line charging current will be more. I cannot neglect the line charging current now. So but the point comes, since the parameters are distributed throughout the transmission line, okay, so if you are lumping them or if you are replacing them by a single element, you can have different arrangements based on that. In the previous case, we had just resistance and inductance, and both were in series. So either you connect an inductor before or a resistance before, the analysis does not change because both are connected in series. But now capacitance will be connected between line and the ground. So it can be placed before the resistance and inductance, and it can be placed after the resistance and inductance. But we do not place capacitance in between resistance and inductance because these two parameters are inseparable. Any conductor which has a inductance will have certain resistance also. So we cannot separate resistance and inductance. So capacitance will either be connected before the two or after the two. So if we connect the capacitor after resistance and inductance, that is at the receiving end, it is called as receiving end C model. So first there will be resistance, inductance, then capacitance. So it is R, Jx. It is represented using admittance j omega c. So this will be our Vs, Is, Vr and IR. So here capacitor is connected at the receiving end. Okay. Here R, X and C all are lumped. That is, all have been taken after product of length. Okay, length has been multiplied into each parameter, then only we have considered these parameters. Similarly, we can connect the capacitor at the sending end, that is before resistance and inductance. So we will have resistance and inductance, and here we will have a capacitance. So here we will have Vs, Is, IR, Vr. This is R, jx y equal to j omega c. This can also be written as an impedance z, which is equal to r plus jx. So that is your sending end C model. But since we are lumping the parameters, we are losing some sort of accuracy. The best analysis would be in terms of distributed parameters, that is parameters per unit length. But then the transmission line has to be divided into infinite number of sections of almost zero length. So if we cannot divide into so many sections, but we can divide into at least some finite number of sections, let us say 2 sections, 3 sections, 5 sections, like that. So if we divide the transmission line into 2 sections, suppose the transmission line is connected between A and B, and we divide it at the midpoint C, then we have 2 sections, AC and BC. We can separately model AC and BC section of the line to improve the accuracy. The more the sections of the transmission line, the more difficult will be the analysis, but higher will be the accuracy. So I'm just dividing into 2 sections so that analysis does not become more complicated, rather we gain some sort of accuracy. If you divide it into more than 2 sections, then analysis will be more complicated. Then there will be no use in approximating as a medium transmission line. Rather we can use distributed model or the long transmission line. So approximation is only valid, or it is only useful if the analysis is easier. So suppose the 2 sections that we have divided, each will have length L by 2. So their resistance will become R by 2, inductance L by 2 and capacitance C by 2. Say for the first section we use receiving end C model, that is R by 2, L by 2 and C by 2. Okay, but for the next section we use sending end C model, C by 2, R by 2 and L by 2. Now since these capacitances are in parallel, they will get added up. So it will be like this: R by 2, L by 2, R by 2, L by 2 and C. That is called as nominal T model because it is in the shape of T. Okay, so that is more accurate as compared to the sending and the receiving end model. But now the other thing that you can do is use sending end C model for the first half and receiving end C model for the second half. If we use sending end C model for the first half, it will be C by 2. Here we will have a resistance, inductance R by 2 and L by 2. For the other half we will have receiving end C model, R by 2, L by 2 and C by 2. Now when resistances are in series, they will get added up, inductance will also get added up. R, L, C by 2, C by 2. So it is in the shape of a pi, so it is called as nominal pi model. This can be written as Z. Since capacitance is half, half will be the admittance, half will be the admittance. That is your nominal pi model. Now the question comes, when we have nominal T model and nominal pi model, which one is more preferable? If you see here, the number of nodes are 2, excluding the ground node. But in case of nominal T model, we have 1, 2, 3 nodes. So while doing the load flow analysis or while solving a power system network, we always use nodal analysis. Since the T network has more number of nodes, that implies more number of nodal equations. So analysis is difficult. So always nominal pi model is preferable over the nominal T model. That you must keep in mind because the nominal T model has more number of nodes. For long transmission line, we do not design any circuit as such because there we will use distributed model, and also when we are doing the transient analysis, we will use distributed model. The things that we'll study now will be based on steady state analysis. Later on we will see the transient analysis. So steady state analysis is done using the lumped model like these, and transient analysis will be done based on the distributed model. So let us summarize what we learnt in this lecture. We first saw efficiency and voltage regulation of a transmission line. Then we saw classification into short, medium and long transmission line. Then we saw models of short and medium transmission line. And we saw that in medium transmission line, nominal pi model is most preferable. In the next lecture, we will see how to analyze the transmission lines as two-port network. That we will cover in the next lecture.
So my friend, if you want to join Unacademy, if you liked the lecture, if you like the content that you have just watched, and you have decided that Unacademy is the right place for you, and you want to learn with me, you want to learn from me, then don't hesitate, because that is where we are conducting free classes every day that will boost your GATE rank. So if you decide to take subscription, click on GATE and ESE, click on get subscription. After this, you can choose the plan that you want to opt for. The final year and dropper can take 1 year plan, second and the third year can take 2 year plan. But don't forget to use the code Ankit ESE. This will give you 10% off, as well as it will bring you under my guidance. And as you can see, the prices are really affordable, my friend. It is much less than any other institute can offer you. And that is why I keep repeating, Unacademy is not an academy. It is a revolution. It is a feeling. You can make the payment by credit, debit card, EMI, net banking. Also, EMI is available on debit card, but for HDFC debit card and Bajaj Finserv debit card. So if you are from a weak financial background, you can pay the amount in installments, but only use the code Ankit ESE. And my friend, these are some videos where I have told how to study, how to get the best rank in GATE, and these videos will really help you in cracking GATE. So make sure that you watch each and every one of them. And my friend, these are our other channels, like for mechanical we have, for civil also we have, for computer science we have for SSC, JEE, all branches, electrical, mechanical, civil. And on this channel we have the previous year question video solution, that too free of cost. And many more channels will be coming very soon for you guys. So be a part of our YouTube family, and you can take the benefit of all the free content that we are bringing.